Smith, and I'm a victim of a drunk driver. I lost the love of my life on Memorial Day, 1992, and I almost lost my son. I worked 2 full-time jobs to stay off the system. Chief Glass was a police officer, right, Chief?
That's a long time ago, Miss Eva.
We didn't have cell phones, we had pagers. He would page me and let me put a number in, let me know my baby was all right. I worked hard. And I want all of you to know, each and every one of you to know how much I appreciate everything that y'all do. I live in the county, but I work a lot in the city. We're booked tomorrow for Eaton, Saturday for Milledgeville, but it's not home. I'm the only chapter in the state of Georgia that if you get 1 DUI, I give you a certificate. It could have been that one person to take an innocent life like my husband was taken. He sent me through college, 2 years of college. Took care of our babies. So I always even give the ones that just has 1 DUI.
You want me to holler at them? When I call your name, come up here, okay?
Yeah, I can handle it to you.
Okay.
I want you to do everything for me.
Officer Waldrop. Get him between me and Miss Eva. Officer Waldrop and I eat at the same restaurant. Robertson, detective type now. This is J-Rod. Him and R.B. Watts go to the same barber. You can tell by the facial hair.
Just trying to mimic him.
Look good, Jared. Look good.
Lieutenant David Hannah? Where you at, David? He left. He must have saw that. Where's he at? Did he leave? He must know that he's gonna have to come up here. We'll get it to him. He's bad about doing that kind of thing.
This is 2.
Dembowski. Aren't you amazed? I got it almost right? You know, we got so many of our folks. I'm proud of all of them, but he is a former Army Ranger, and his wife serves in the United States Navy now, and I'm just proud of folks that's been in the military. I'm proud of all of you, but sometimes I think you can take a picture while I talk.
How about that hair, though? What made you smell like that?
Well, you know, when you're doing what he does, that's what you need to do. Sergeant Selfie Brent Davis.
Yes,
Oh, I got promoted now. You're right. You did the right thing now.
Did it right.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant John Murrah. John come to work here He went to RV's barber, and there he goes to mine.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Lieutenant Jonathan Pilgrim.
OAF?
John done me a favor. Him and Captain Matthews had to come get me the other day in Atlanta. I caught Montezuma's revenge, and it upset the lieutenant so much he was in the hospital the next day. But I appreciate you. Joe Kirkpatrick.
It's not here, I'm sick with the flu.
Officer NASCAR Jimmy Choi. The NASCAR comes from a phone call I got. Officer Choi was in a pretty serious car accident on the way home, and boy called me, or not boy, man called me and said, your officer couldn't help that. I said, couldn't help what? Said that wreck. Said that man just went right in front of him. He said it looked like something on NASCAR. Said there was cars and stuff going everywhere. So you'll have some kind of nickname from now on. As long as you got number 3 on your car, you're all right. Batman Powell, but now I understand he's become Darth Vader. Powell, I saw him one year, he hadn't been working here long, and he's dressed up like Batman, and he looked like Batman. Matter of fact, he's done some of the family's birthday parties for the kids, but now he's got a Darth Vader. If y'all know Killer Cod Steve Conwell, he is a Star Wars kind of guru, so I'm sure he consulted with him on the uniform. Lieutenant Kevin Arndt. So that's surprised you too. Old copper topper.
I take it with me.
Thank you, Chief.
With 16 DUIs, Joshua Esslinger. Used to in Monroe, you had simple names: Smith, Jones, Murray, Glad.
Sneed.
He's a fine young man, good officer. He's got a pretty good bar. Appreciate you. Sergeant Clay McCullough. 31 DUIs. In other words, if he's working, don't be sipping wine and riding in Monroe. He went to Social Circle, was going to be a firefighter, and decided that wasn't going to work. And he come back, and we proud he come back.
I saw it.
What part? Oh.
All right, old Cajun Nina Lee, 40 DUIs. That got to be the fastest camera in town.
There's one down there. Okay, I'd like to thank all of you, everything y'all done. Everything. We have cards with my numbers on it, Brenda's number. If you ever need us day or night, call us. Our next mission is working on the underage alcohol buys. My youngest son's 18 now, but he looks 28.
I can say it now, but just a few days ago, we did have that type operation in the city of Monroe, and they went through 7 or 9 stores, and none of them sold, so that was good.
Thank you, Chief.
Come up here, Rick Ranger. We got a little things kind of not in the program, but we've started some pretty intensive PTs or self-defense tactics, and I'm gonna let them Bowski talk about them. That's them things right there. You picked them out. You can tell everybody about that. Come over here and stand in front of the microphone, Tom. I'll hand them to you. Maybe Mr. Marshall.
All right.
He looked like Chuck Norris, don't he?
Well, thank you, Chief. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to thank everyone, obviously, for being here today. And I want to give special thanks to certain individuals. First of all, I want to thank the Lord, 1, for my job, and 2, for the opportunity to be this department's lead defensive tactics instructor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, I want to thank my loving and beautiful and supportive wife. One for her, none of this would happen. My wife went through all the physical activities and drills of the defensive tactics program as the officers did. And my wife is Daphne Dembowski. Thank you. Next, I want to thank all the officers for all their hard work, their efforts, and all their participation. Thank you very much for making this year a success. Thank you.
How many people would get hurt doing that?
I think we
Really hurt?
Go ahead.
Don't answer that. Nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt.
You got hurt, not injured. That's right.
But I also want to thank the command staff. 1, for instilling the trust and faith in me to be the lead defensive tactics instructor. Thank you very much. And next, who I want to thank, next thing we're talking about here, next thing we're talking about is defensive tactics. People ask me, what are defensive tactics? And defensive tactics, I can sum it up in a couple things. 1 is what we call the warrior mindset. And what I mean by that is having the mental strength, endurance, and never mind, I'm sorry. It's just to have the mental strength and endurance, 1, to never quit and to never give up and to keep on going and always win. Let's put it that way, win at all costs. All right, make sure you go home. Make sure whatever situation is, you win the situation. Next thing, I like to call it level of force, use of force, and how officers, when they observe things or they perceive things that are in front of them or around them, they can take the knowledge that they've learned and they can apply and they can understand and determine what level of force to use to take care of the situation. That's basically it in a nutshell. The day of defensive tactics, how the day went. In the beginning, we just did some classroom stuff, some lecture things. The officers had to take a written test. They had to pass the test. Then in the afternoon, that's when we went and started doing our physical activities. The officers learned new skills of the sport of freestyle wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, and the final activity was, the culminating event was the Achieve the Clinch drill. And in that drill, the officers had to apply everything they learned throughout the day. And there was an officer, there was a suspect or offender, and there was a victim. And they had to come into the situation and they had to control the suspect, because the suspect was doing physical bodily harm to the victim. They had no choice. They had to do something. And with that being said, that was just how the day went. Now, moving right along though, we have 2 appreciation awards. And the first award, I'm going to just talk about the person. This guy helped me out a lot. He has over 20 years of mixed martial arts or martial art experience, either in instruction or in competition. And with that, he helped me, one, with the drills, helped me with the activities, helped give positive instructive feedback, and he helped out a lot. He officiated a lot of the drills for me. And I just want to thank, he's actually an instructor at the Contemporary Martial Arts here in Monroe and also out in Hartwell, Georgia. And I want to thank Mr. David Martin.
Thank you so much. You're not gonna flip me or nothing, are you? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
The next person I'd like to mention, this lady here, she took on more of the admin role for the course. She made sure the mats were clean. She made sure the equipment was clean, made sure the equipment was functional. She played the victim a lot. All right? What's that? Yeah, and unfortunately she brought snacks. I was a little iffy on that, but the officers seemed to like it. Biggest thing though, she came with the bottles of water. And everyone here that went through the program can attest that water was needed. And she made sure that every officer had water so they were hydrated. And I'm a big believer that helped reduce any situations that may have happened. But again, she helped also with the instruction and also giving corrective and instructional and positive feedback. And that is Miss Kimberly Martin.
Thank you so much. Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the 2015 inaugural Monroe Police Department Defensive Tactics Awards. The first award I'm going to speak about is the Sportsmanship Award. And this award basically covers the affective domain of learning. That's the officer that displays the best or the most positive attitude, motivation, enthusiasm, their, again, positive thinking. This particular person, even though she was going through all the drills, she'd sometimes get cramps in her calf. And she would still be smiling and having a good time and carrying on. It never stopped her. She kept working, she kept driving on through, even though she kept on cramping up a little bit, it never stopped her. And she did a great job, and I am proud to present the 2015 inaugural Defensive Tactics Sportsmanship Award to Detective Aaron Richardson. By the way, these awards were selected by Dave, Kim, and myself. All three of us came together, we put our heads together, we observed throughout the whole year, 2015, and through performances, that's how we decided who the award winners were. Next award is basically the officer displayed the most mental strength, mental toughness, mental awareness, mental intellect, and mental endurance. And this basically hit on the cognitive domain of learning, the mental aspect of it. This officer showed up, and first of all, I'm going to tell you, this officer mentally can knock these walls down. This officer is extremely mentally strong. We put the officers in situations where they'd go out of their comfort zone. And we tried to break them a little bit, get them outside that comfort zone, really make them feel, stress. This officer, it didn't happen. All throughout the day, it never happened. So when basically the officer showed up with if you can picture it, a construction hat and a metal lunchbox. This officer came to work. There was no doubt about it. And there was no breaking him, and he did a wonderful job. And I'm proud to present the 2015 Defensive Tactics Award for the best mental strength and intellect to Lieutenant Kevin Aaron. Good job.
If he done all what Bubba said, I ain't gonna make no smart comment.
That was just in defensive tactics. I don't know how it is outside of defensive tactics. I'm just telling you how it was in my class. Now the final award, which I don't believe the officer left, but
His wife can come get him.
she is. She's not on there. This next award is the most physical or most outstanding physical performance, and this part covers the psychomotor domain of learning. This is the best physical performance of all the defensive tactics courses that we ran. This officer picked things up mentally, we demonstrated it, the officer understood, and went out there and naturally participated, naturally competed, and was extremely successful all throughout the day. The biggest thing that we saw was at the final culminating event. This officer, this clinch, as we'll call it, where the officer has to control the suspect. This officer performed this drill faster than anybody in the department. And for a guy that size, I couldn't believe it when it happened, because it happened to me. He's the one that came after. So, but not only did he do it the fastest, he did it extremely well. Let's put it that way. If there's anywhere near perfection, he did it that way. It was outstanding, and this was the number one, and all three of us, a unanimous vote on this, and that's Officer Corey Waldron.
Carla had to go answer a call. So you can't judge everything by how big they are. It's about how quick they move. Got it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate it. That program is integrated into our training. It's a good program. We're going to start now with years of service. Kevin Art, 5 years. Some of the council folks and Russell has been around a long time. You remember these first things, there wasn't no years of service award. So I'm so glad we got folks that are, we're being able to retain some good folks. So we're proud of that. Thank you. Amanda Lawson, 10 years. God, don't seem like doesn't seem like 10 years since we were having a conversation in the office about police. Amanda does a good job. Thank you, Amanda. Trudy Wall, 15 years. Trudy was there. She's seen some interesting times at Monroe. Thank you, Trudy. I appreciate it. We have two that are not here tonight. Detective Gina Holbrooks, 20 years, and Donna McAreath, 10 years. We also have a DUI award. Officer Nina Lee awarded and appreciated the most outstanding job performance in law enforcement. DUI law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
That thing like automatic or something. Top Gun. Did you do that cowboy thing or El Presidente?
Did it all, Chief.
Henry Forrest III.
got a perfect score there too.
Well, while we taking pictures, explain to them what the El Presidente,
I'll talk a little faster than Demowski did. We had 3 different drills that ran. They had you run through qualification, and they had to shoot over a 90% to run through that. So he shot the highest score there. He shot a 95% on the qualification. Then they went and they did a El Presidente, which is where you have 3 targets. They had to draw their weapon and fire 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds. They had to reload, then fire 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, reload, and do 2 rounds, 2 rounds, and 2 rounds. And it scored on penalties. And Forrest was able to do it in under 14 seconds, which is extremely fast. That's shooting 9 targets with 2 magazine changes from the holster in under 14 seconds. That's extremely fast. He had 1 penalty, and that penalty still didn't put him over the 14 seconds, so it was a perfect run. And then we went and shot bullseye shot, where they get turn the target all the way back to 25 yards. They get 10 shots with a maximum possible score of 100 points. And you shot what there? 90%, wasn't it? And then you shot 90%, shot 90% there. So 9 out of 10 rounds in the bullseye ring at 25 yards. So, excellent shot. And he's a Marine.
You can tell I am fond of Marines. We have a lot of United States former Marines that are.
There's no former Marine chief.
Careful. We need 1 or 2 patrolmen right now. But I don't know how my Army Ranger didn't win that. I think it's got to do with the score of being a former Marine or a Marine. We may have to bring up. Our next award is our Admin Employee of the Year. And this goes to a guy that, and these are picked by leadership. And, the Officer of the Year is picked by peers. But Captain Mike Matthews has been with me since I came to work at Monroe PD. He and I survived some fun times, some crazy times. We called ourselves helping with a pursuit one time when we were in the academy, and he forgot to unload his magazines, and we went to Clayton County Police Academy, and back in they had a former Marine running it, and I think he's in prison now. He didn't like for you to have live ammunition on the quarterdeck. So, and of course one day I went and I didn't have my sweatpants, and I had to do push-ups about not knowing where my pants was at. So it was an interesting time, but Mike, on behalf of the city, I give you this, but also thank you for your friendship, and we having a good ride. We've done good. CID is the field investigative team falls in that group also. This young lady's been recognized tonight about her willingness to hang in there and be tough, and actually a lot of you hadn't seen her when she first come to work here. She came to work and there was about 3 people in government that knew she worked. Not even some of the officers knew that she worked here. She done a lot of great work for us in our city. Erin Richardson. She does all them, you've seen them things on TV where all them people take pictures and they all muddied up and been running and climbing, and she does those things too. Thank you, we really appreciate you. I'm gonna let this former Marine, or current Marine, how y'all call it, I'm gonna let him read this script about what one of our officers done, and we're going ahead and we're gonna recognize him tonight because what he done was very vital to saving a life.
On January 15, 2016, at approximately midnight 53 hours, officers were dispatched to 312A Tanglewood Drive in reference to an EMS assist where a 4-year-old child, Callie Jackson, was unconscious and not breathing, and CPR was being administered. Sergeant McCullough was the first officer to arrive and advised that the child was labored breathing. Sergeant McCullough advised that EMS needed to hurry, and when I arrived on location, Sergeant McCullough began CPR again. Sergeant McCullough carried the child to the ambulance and continued to perform CPR on the child until she was turned over to the hospital staff. Callie Jackson was later flown to Children's Health Care of Atlanta. Callie Jackson suffered from asthma, and when she arrived at Clearview Medical Center, she began to breathe on her own. Sergeant McCullough saved this young child's life with his actions and should receive a life-saving award for his heroic act. Please help me in recognizing the sergeant.
Miss Daly? Miss Daly? Ma'am? While she's coming up here, I'll read this. The City of Monroe Police Department salutes Great Oaks, the staff, and Melinda Daly, Executive Director, for their ongoing kind and generous support presented February 2016. Let's see how we're going to do this. We also got you and Big Daly, a little something there, and then Big Ken and Mama something, and y'all just, I can't never, it's hard for me not to talk to her and.
He tears up.
Yeah. Well, just the kindness you've shown, not only the police department, but me and my family. I love you.
Thank you.
Anybody got a radio on?
He's got it. He's going.
The uniform patrol officer and the officer of the year is the same person. And right now he's on the call, so let's talk a minute and then we'll maybe it'll be in just a second. Call should have.
What did it say, Sam? He's on his way now? Dimitri, go ahead and do the slideshow. Let him be looking at the slideshow.
Yeah.
Time break.
You know, we're fortunate in Monroe, we've had we had a firefighter and a police officer. Linda A, the firefighter was actually off duty going down the road. And went with a person all the way to the hospital, performed CPR, that person saved too. We recognized him last week. So, police and fire guys do a lot more than put out fires or write citations and lock folks up. Our biggest mission is taking care of the community. Our biggest mission is being a guardian. That warrior mentality that we talk about is only when we have to survive. You know, you hear a lot of talk about the sheepdog. Well, that's kind of what we are. We're not something that goes out and viciously attacks the people that we serve. We're the folks that look after them. I'm proud of the men and women of the Monroe Police Department. They do our city an excellent job. Ain't no telling what you're gonna see in these pictures, I tell you what, our city attorney has always got some word of wisdom. You like to share with us? County Commissioner, Kirkland, you got anything? Denise? All right, man, I know you're supposed
You know, I will say something. You know, if you ever know an elected official that wouldn't say something, I'm just gonna tell you, being on the council for this is my 5th year and opportunities to come to this dinner. every year have been real special to see the kind of things that are going on. The Chief's always telling us good things going on, but they're really to hear about it tonight and see things going on. The only thing I can say to each of you, both officers and as well as spouses, thank you for what you do.
Mr. Richardson, I just want to thank all the city employees in this room, and I really want to appreciate the city employees' spouses and what you go through each and every day, not knowing if your loved one's coming home at the end of the day. And I just want to thank the chief for the job he's done, the city of Monroe, and all the people here. So thank y'all.
I just want to echo what Jimmy and Larry have already said, and thank each and every one of you for what you do every day. And I'm proud to be part of the city that has a police department of this caliber. And again, my hat's off to you. I just thank you for what you do.
Well, I do have a few things to say. I started acting as a judge here back in May, and I just want to say to the officers that are here tonight, it makes my job a lot easier to have a police department that does things the right way, presents the cases the right way, does it in a very straight up fashion. Because all of you know, a lot of folks that come to the court don't always leave real happy. And it's not my objective for everybody to leave happy, but it's my objective for people to feel like they've been treated fairly, decently, honestly, that they did something wrong, cases worked up the correct way. And I'm still a practicing lawyer. I go a lot of places, see a lot of stuff. Not every department does it right, and certainly doesn't do it to the level that this department does. So I feel blessed in that court to have a professional department, and I assure you this city is blessed to have you. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, you gonna say something? We'll save Miss Crawford for last. She got a speech wrote down.
Thank you, Chief. I got an opportunity to actually ride with the police department this week. I rode with Officer Pilgrim, but I also got a chance to go to court to get a chance to catch Mr. Judge Nixon for roughly an hour and a half, I think. For him to get that many people out of court in that short period of time, that courtroom was slam packed. In about an hour, we had about 5 people left in there. And I want to thank Officer Pilgrim for the chance to actually ride around and see what they actually do. He actually did some things that he don't usually get a chance to do, and that was actually pull a guy over. I don't understand how he didn't see him, but evidently he did not see him. He ran 2 stop signs in a matter of about 10 seconds, hit a mailbox, and then everything else just broke loose out of that. And I'm sitting up there like, you got to be kidding me. This guy did not see us behind at all. But I want to thank Officer Pilgrim for the work that he actually did. He was very professional in doing his job, and the system that he got in a short period of time. I think they did an awesome job, and I want to salute the Monroe Police Department for the actions and the job that they're actually doing throughout the city of Monroe. Thank you all.
You stand up and tell them who you are.
Hello, my name is Marsha Crawford. This is my first time on City Council, and I just want to thank the police department for everything that they do.
All right, I think I went around, I got the, Mike Head.
Yes, sir.
You want to say anything? Mike Head was working today that Lieutenant Epstein lost his life. Matter of fact, he was out there with him. and he's actually a recipient of the Michael Edson Award for actions he took back then. But he was the chief here, and he moved on to being faster. But anyway, Mike.
Well, I want to say I've had several experiences at the police department starting in '75, and was on the job 18 days, and John Conwell and I answered a domestic and ended up getting in a shootout. And I remember telling my captain at that time, man, this ain't nothing like a police story. And because I'd watched all those police stories and bookies and all that. And then a couple of years later, when Mike and I went through that incident on South 11 and he lost his life, that's the kind of thing I think about every day. And then my years as chief here from '83 to '87, we tried to progress, and we did. We got a lot of equipment. I've noticed that Director Glass has got a lot of technology, and that's where we were moving when I left in '87. But I got to say, you guys are well prepared, well equipped, and if any of y'all can think back, 30, 40 years ago, and think, when I came to work here, we didn't even have screens in the cars. And I remember we put some handcuffs. As a matter of fact, Mike and I put some handcuffs on a guy one night that the politicians didn't like and his family didn't like. And we got our screens after that. But I've enjoyed being here and meeting some of you. And if I can ever help you with anything, don't hesitate to call. I'm retired.
I'll move on now with the awards program. The Uniform Patrol Officer of the Year was Sergeant Brent Davis. If you could come up. Congratulations. Thanks, sir. We appreciate the job you do. We're waiting on you. Thank you. This next award is presented to the officer based on peers, what the peers tell us, or what the peers, how they vote, who they perceive as the Officer of the Year. This year it's a little different, just like council folks that was here at the fire thing the other night. We had a business person in our city that made a good donation. What we had planned to do is give the donation was $1,000. We broke it up between fire and police. We were going to buy a $1,000 savings bond for each one, but you can't buy a savings bond at the bank anymore. You got to set up an account online. So anyway, that person is also going to get a gift, and in here it's got the name of the business person, and I want this officer to, to thank that person for the recognition of the police department. Presented by the City of Monroe Police Department in recognition of his selection as Employee of the Year for noteworthy commitment to public service, highest professional standard, highest professional and personal standards, conduct, and outstanding job performance. Goes to a guy named Brent Davis. You looked a little out of shape. I thought you needed to walk a little bit. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we don't have a Michael Edson.
We got one last award for tonight, and at this time I'd like to ask the Edson family if they would come forward, please.
Chief Black, this is for you. This is from the Michael Atchison family. Because you did so much for us. This happened 38 years ago. And you were the first one in 12 years to do this. You've been doing this 12 years. And all those years, you was the first chief to do this for us. So we want to present you with the plaque. And thank you for all you do for us. And my niece is going to read it.
Lieutenant Michael Atchison Sr. Award for Valor. Presented by the MPP and Atchison family for service and above and beyond the call of duty. Given in honor of Chief Keith Glass, Monroe Public Safety Director, February 2006.
I usually got something to say. I really don't. Thank you so much, and it's, what an honor. I don't think I did anything courageous. I think I've done what should have been done. And I appreciate, again, the mayor and council, and we've done that. We even got our police department is named in Michael's honor. So to me, this will mean a lot.
It means a lot to us.
Anyway, I guess it's okay to get got, huh? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much to the Atchison family. And I'm sure somebody on my staff was involved. But, our history is something we forget about so easily. But it's something we can't change it. We need to learn from it, but ourselves from what we've learned and go forward. But to the Atchison family, it's hard to believe we've been doing this 12 years. What a blink. What a blink. But I'm truly honored, and really don't, the names that we putting on that plaque is, what you doing to me? But anyway, it's just, I don't really know what I belong there, but I do appreciate this thought, and I appreciate what your family has gone through. And to the police department families, you got a tougher job than your spouse a lot of times. I used to tell soldiers that all the time, but your family's got a tougher job than you got, because when you're deployed or when you're doing your function, your mind or you're set on what you're doing. And the family has a whole lot of time to think about all the things that can happen or might happen. But unless somebody else has got something, I want to say thank you. Thank you to the Atchison family, and thank you to Monroe Police Department. You're a special group of folks. And like all families, sometimes we get a little dysfunctional. But, it's our family. And we're going to take care of our family. So God bless y'all, and thank you for being here tonight.